Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Legendary Aspects. Today we're going to be going over one of the new legendary aspects for the Necromancer, which is the aspect of the Shattered Spirits. The Shattered Spirits is, I kind of love it. I've been playing around with it all season, and let's go over it together and we'll talk about it. Then we'll go play with it. So, casting Bone Spirit also launches 18 Bone Splinters in all directions, dealing 200 to 300% multiplier, increased damage, generating 6 essence per enemy hit, which is pretty insane. And to get an idea of how this looks when you actually fire off a Bone Spirit, it's basically it comes out of you, it doesn't come out of the Bone Spirit. It also has a nice little spiral pattern, which is kind of cool. Like, it's not like a Nova, so to speak, where it comes out all at once. It's more like it goes around in like a circle around you. What's that thing called? Like the Fibonacci, whatever. It's kind of more like that. So let me show you here. Of course, there's monsters on the field, so that doesn't really help me out very much, because the monsters are consuming my doojanks. That's okay. Here we go. You ready? Nice little, like, and it goes around in a circle, right? Well, the really cool thing about this is if you're standing inside the monster, you can actually cause the monster to get hit by all 18, which is pretty insane. So one of the ways that I've been doing this is, like, I'll just use my Blood Mist to kind of, like, force myself into the center of the group of monsters. And then that way, when I fire off the Bone Spirit, it kind of hits, like, all of them. Of course, these guys can't even take, like, one hit. And I'm missing my amulet, too, because it's on my other character. But, absolutely insane aspect. I really, really love it. First off, it helps a lot with Bone Spirit because Bone Spirit obviously consumes all of your essence whenever you use it. So whenever you use the ability, you immediately burn all of your essence. Well, it really helps to have an additional way to restore essence, because as long as you are, standing close enough to the monsters when you fire off the Bone Spirit, you get a pretty good amount of that essence back per firing. Helps out a ton, and it also helps out a lot with some of the other aspects which you may be utilizing the skills that you might be using with Bone Spirit. Like, first off, there's this one here, which is a Compound Fracture. After critically striking 10 times with Bone Skills, your Bone Skills deal 15% times increased damage for 5 seconds. Well, you fire off 18 Bone Splinters, and there's a very good chance that quite a few of those Bone Splinters are going to crit, and so you can get Compound Fracture really easily this way. On top of this, the amount of essence that you get back from it allows you to almost instantly recast Bone Spirit, depending on how you set that up. On top of this, you also get the effects of the Bone Splinters themselves. So you get, like, the vulnerability, and honestly, the vulnerability is really nice. So if you are utilizing the ability, the Bone Splinters actually help keep everything nice and vulnerable for you, because you're going to get, well, the Bone Splinters just constantly coming out. I've been utilizing them myself pretty much all season. I've had a lot of fun with the way that the Bone Splinters come out. I could potentially be getting more damage, but man, I'm having fun with the Bone Splinters, just like restoring all my essence back to full, and then immediately being able to recast the ability. Let's see if I can do this. I can replicate this over at the training hall. Just kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. That guy, man. He's always there to yell at me. Every time I walk by that guy. You, wanderer. I know what you are. So anyway, if we're in here, and let's say we got boss training dummy. Right, let's say we're fighting a boss. One of the things that I like to do with this ability is I'll actually kind of, like, force myself inside of him like this when I fire it, so that most of the Bone Splinters will hit him. Let me try that again, because I didn't really quite succeed. It's a little bit more difficult with these little tiny monsters than it is with the big giant bosses, which honestly are a lot easier to utilize this on. But as you can see here, I was able to hit him with at least a large portion of them, regenerating a lot of my essence relatively quickly. And of course my Bone Spirit just went the wrong way. That's beautiful. This is considered an essence-based aspect. So if I remember correctly, this can only be placed on rings. They did a lot of, resource-based aspect. Anything that's a resource-based aspect is only capable of being put on rings. I'm not really sure exactly why the ring slot is restricted for the resources, but that's just how they have it set up. So when you go and you grab this aspect, which, by the way, for this season, and I don't know about future seasons, but for this season alone, it actually comes from the seasonal journey. If you do the season journey, you get it for free in the codex. And it's sitting in here. Where is it? There it is. So as you can see here, if we throw this up here, it kind of de-highlights everything, and it goes straight to rings. So the rings are the only things you can put it on. This is a pretty powerful one, though. Even the 200% version is pretty powerful. It's not really about the Bone Splinter's damage, more so is it's about the fact that it basically just gives you all your essence back in between Bone Spirits and allows you to spam it more freely, which is honestly the better part of it. So you just use it, it generates you a huge amount of essence, then you can use it again. Now the way I have it set up is I can actually get a bunch of free ones using the Blood Artisan's Curios, which is a little bit more effective in my opinion than the way this works. And I'm not entirely 100% sure if this one's needed. You could potentially make a Bone Spirit Necromancer without it. I don't see it being 100% required, but it sure is fun. I'm gonna tell you that much. It sure is fun shooting out bone splinters all over the place. Also trying to strategically place yourself so that the bone splinters all hit the target. It's the same target, and each one can generate you 6 essence. So 18 times 6 is a massive 108 essence return. Basically, every single time you use your Bone Spirit, you get 108 essence. And then on top of that, if you take a look at the Bone Spirit ability itself, the Bone Spirit ability itself can give you back 30% of your maximum essence, which I currently have 267 with my amulet. I'm missing my amulet right now. So if we take 267 minus was like 70%, we still get 80, right? And then we have the 108 that we get from firing off the bone splinters. And as you can see, I can get back 188.1 right there. It's actually kind of crazy how you can almost instantly refill your essence right back up. Utilizing this ability, Bone Spirits, the way that it automatically gives you 30% of your maximum essence back over the next 4 seconds, and then maybe some of the regeneration aspects as well. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can potentially regenerate some of your essence, but being able to regenerate it all very quickly is excellent. And utilizing Bone Spirits properly, you can basically reset it almost instantaneously. So you can almost spam it. Almost. Let me see if I can give you an example. So normally it has a cooldown of 12 seconds. And if it crits when you use it, it reduces its own cooldown, as well as the amount of essence that you use upon firing it also helps reduce its cooldown. Of course, I just fired that one off into nothingness. See that? And it reset its own cooldown when it crit. So, and it goes down to like 3 seconds. So the general gist of this aspect seems to just kind of revolve around the idea of just simply having yourself reset the cooldown as quickly as possible, and of course getting all of your essence back pretty much every single time you fire the ability, which is super duper helpful. As you can see here, I can reset it, and then the only time I don't really get it reset quickly is when I don't get a crit. So one of the things that you definitely want to do with this character is build high amounts of crit, so you get the reset. And if you get the reset, then you get the essence back while utilizing this new aspect, and it's all very fun. On top of that, you do also get the damage from Bone Splinters. I'm kind of torn on whether I'd actually want to build the damage of Bone Splinters, But if you did want to try and build like a basic skill Bone Splinters Necromancer, this would definitely be an interesting one to utilize for that as well. Let me know what you guys think about this aspect. Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's not? Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's stupid? I'm interested. I'm interested to see what you guys got to say. As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.